fucking road.
Get the show on the road. Is your phone down? Because you can say, good afternoon. It is after 12, at least on the Eastern Coast. And we are live. Is your phone down? Mama Helen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
my
shut it
phone.
off.
No, my phone was down, but the Zoom makes I hate that. I don't know why it makes the YouTube video pop up. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see you. Give me 1 second. How you feeling today, Mama?
And not that great, but it's what I got to live with.
I didn't mean
Just
to
another
drag
day
you on. I
alive.
literally dragged Mom Helen on because she has some information. I'd rather it come from her mouth and who she gets it from, um, because that's just the way the world works. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why. Let me see if I could do this now. A Trump. Come on now. Trump. I'll use this one. Um,
I'm sharing.
oh, that's
Yes,
good. You could share, sure. I'm not concerned about sharing much anymore, but it doesn't hurt because now I know what's going on. I really think ooh, we're almost there. We're tilting.
I'm going to send it to Joe.
Well, Joe's working. I wish he could come on. I wanted to go on
Well,
early.
his light is on, so I'm going to share it anyway.
That's our brother.
Hope everything's better with you, Joe. Hope a lot
He's
of things are better with you.
he's doing better. We're gonna be working on some good old fun stuff. Um, we haven't done like a video in a while, like a satire video. In fact, Chris Brenham has been doing such a great job. I had to post one of his today as the subscribe. I don't even know what to call it, like subscribe video. I don't know. I think though I put up the wrong one though, but it's a good one too. Uh, Kamala saying that there aren't troops out or something, and the troops are they're like, "What are we?" Then the military is like,
Yeah,
what are we?"
I
Oh my
loved
God!
it. I loved it. I watched that last night.
Did
Did
you?
I send that to you?
No, Chris put it up. Chris Brenham.
Oh,
He's the
well,
other
as
manager.
a matter of fact, I just watched that yesterday
It's a
because somebody
satire.
put it in a video about what a liar Kamala Harris was.
That's
And
Chris.
right
That's my.
when you,
All right, I'll share it. Hold on.
no, this was that black guy.
Oh, he had it too?
Yes.
Mm,
Come on, get out of here.
okay. All right.
We on.
Huh?
We on.
Yeah. Could say good morning.
Good afternoon,
Or good afternoon. That's right. It's after 12.
Patriots.
The cats are loving it.
Yeah, you know the cat's got to get their TV time. What, boo boo kitty?
I bought the world's worst thesaurus yesterday. Not only was it terrible, but it was also terrible. I don't know how many of you are going to get that. God
I
bless you,
didn't.
Mom.
I didn't. And my sneeze confirmed it.
Oh God, it's really bad. It's so stupid.
The
Like
source. Now you
a
can actually think of
thesaurus is supposed to give you words that are synonyms that are like the word.
Yes.
And so I'm saying not only was it terrible, but it was also terrible, meaning it didn't give you enough words. It's the worst. It's terrible. You could say awful, just nasty, rotten eggs, or anything, a synonym, that
Let's go with
another
another
word to
joke.
describe it, but it's not
Let's go
just
with another
terrible, it's
joke.
also terrible. That's
That
like
one
biting
kind of
me.
sucked. For me not to get it, it had to suck.
Maybe it's an English teacher's daughter's joke. I don't know. Um, it's bad. It was bad. I wanted to just mention that salty cracker that I put up. You noticed it, right? And he's saying that is Jim Carrey. This is 2 years old. I should have put that in the title. But he was saying at the time, is Jim Carrey running away from Canada to Greece with his buddy Tom Hanks? And Mama said to me, well, we know he's dead. We know he was on that Epstein list and he had a military tribunal and he's dead. But we also believe, as conspiracists, that Jim Carrey played Biden. Mostly. It was mostly
Yeah,
Jim
but there were
Carrey.
a lot of other actors, and I'm
There were
starting to
four.
really think I'm really starting to think that it wasn't Jim Carrey anymore.
Oh, I no, there's no doubt in my mind it was Jim Carrey. Absolute no. He was thin enough, tall enough. Um, he had the goofball drop on the floor. They told us, the Q people were telling us, and they were begging people to listen. And others were just like not as maybe intrigued as we were.
Okay, well, if the Q people are telling us, I'm going to just put this bluntly and as easily as I could. If the Q people were telling us that uh, Jim Carrey was playing Biden, then he must have had his tribunal like yesterday and
No,
put to death
he didn't do
because
anything. Just
I
be
saw
go on.
I saw a video, a very recent video, which had of people that were arrested, tribunaled, executed, or in jail. And the most recent names on it was Maxine Waters. Uh, Comey's in jail. He didn't get executed. He's in jail. Maxine Waters was executed. Nancy Pelosi was executed. Uh, and there's quite a few others, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. And I'm trying to
It makes
find that
sense that
video
it,
where I
it would
saw
be,
it.
but that I think Jim Carrey left it once they killed his girlfriend. I don't think even if he went to Epstein Island, so what? Trump flew in Lolita. People need to say this out loud. He did, but it was from New York to Florida. Just because Jim Carrey flew to Epstein Island doesn't mean he wanted anybody young or knew anything about it.
No,
They
because
killed his girlfriend. That I know. The Illuminati showed him he better shut the hell up because it's as easy to kill you as it is this young model or wannabe actress or whatever the hell she was.
okay. I also saw uh, clips of him when he was on these late night shows with those morons, that Stephen Colbert and all those other retards.
Yeah,
He was saying he was Illuminati. He was making the signs and saying he's Illuminati.
right. But
So,
again, certain people went into it not knowing the full thing. Like, um, oh, who was the guy in 3000? Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac, they killed off once he saw the cloning. That was it for him because he thought it was like he didn't realize how bad it got. And then they killed him off. Same with Sam Kinison. I wouldn't doubt it. It's weird because I remember Sam Kinison dying a different way than what was recently brought up. I don't know why he's sitting here, Johnny.
Yeah, is it okay?
He made, he's fine.
Text me when again now.
No, he's fine.
Okay, it is fine.
He hears Aunt Helen, Mama Helen.
And I
Um,
could believe about Jim Carrey being Illuminati because he got famous because he had a very, very bad upbringing. He was homeless and lived in his car, and he was really in dire straits. So that would make him want to sell his soul to the devil to think he's going to get a better life, to get famous. And that's how he got famous.
they all it all depends what they allow to happen. And maybe that was part of Jim Carrey's punishment. Maybe he was allowed to live 3 extra years to play a role. Who the hell knows? I just don't, nothing is that black and white, right?
Right. We can't believe anything we see or hear anymore.
Exactly. Diddy and Epstein, humongous, disgusting pieces of shit. We can agree on that, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
But all these people in between, it's what they let, like Maxine Waters, yeah. Okay, because she knew there was sex trafficking. She knew about the child trafficking. How do you know this, get paid for it, and still let it continue and all that? And
Yeah, and
co-op
bring all these women and girls to the place.
this just horror. Look, who is that, Cindy?
Yeah.
Hi, Cindy Mouse. The Hawkeye's get Hawkeye wants up too. Come here. You want to come up? So I wanted to go back
You made your
before you.
debut.
Oh, Bruce Springsteen, he lost his contract with Jeep. Very happy about that. He
Sure.
should lose everything. Everything.
Well,
Lose
you know
everything.
the saying, go woke, go broke.
Right. Did you hear about Putin lately?
No, I've been hearing about the other guy from Israel, Netanyahu. That
Netanyahu.
Trump broke off his friendship with him.
People, please stop. Racism is racism. How is it okay for Israel to keep beating the shit out of the Gaza Strip and people thinking that Iran has nukes and are ready to beat the shit out of Israel? They would have done it already. They would have done it. They use planes to get to us because they live in sand. They live in sand. They may have gold and marble, but I assure you, marble cannot be used at harm unless you're stoning women, like back in the day. I don't, it's ridiculous what shit's going out there now, and it's kind of scary. I have to be repetitive with this. You can't forsake one people for another. Jesus would never have done that. Sorry to have said it that way, but Jesus would never have done that. Everybody matters. And right now, Trump is taking care of what he can, and that's this country first, which is fine because when we're all well protected, then we can help everywhere else. I think Putin I think Putin needs to go back into the Ukraine for something.
You know, if you ask me, I don't think that's the real Putin anyway.
No, no, it's not. It's an act. But there's something. Well, there's another thing with Putin. He fits in one of the either the cloning or the doppelgangers or kins of the past. Because I have seen pictures, 3 other pictures of Putin in 3 other times. And I'll tell you something, I could tell when they're fake. These were not fake pictures. Although one I wasn't sure about. One where he was in the Air Force. probably World War One.
Yeah, but do we really know what Putin really, really looks like?
You know, though,
Or
there are
we
just
think
some
the
things,
new
there are just some things that cloning would do. Cloning more than inbreeding too. The inbreeding. Can't forget that. The inbreeding does weird shit. Um, so I'm thinking we have to get back into the Ukraine for some reason, and we have to bring up some kind of, or Putin's bringing up some kind of reason to get back in there. But I agree with you. It's not the real Putin. It's an act. What is it, puppy? What do you want? You want to give me? You want to come out? You're not getting anything until later. You want? No, it's too early. Come. You want to come up? I don't know what this dog wants. Sorry, guys.
Hawkeye, sit down and behave. Come up and say hello.
He's tiptoeing. Yeah, you want to come say hi? Come here. Come here. I got my blanket here. Come. Okay. I don't know. He's just.
Saying, hey, you let Cindy come up and say hello.
I know, right? Cindy's there. Cindy Mouse is there. Come say hi to. You want to say hi to the boys? You met the 24 boys. Come on. I don't know what he's doing. Let me ask you about the incident with Macron.
She mushed him right in the face. They must have had some knockout, drag out fight on that plane for her to mush him right in the face as they were getting off the plane. Now, I mean, you saw that. And then you could see I see you saw that Spanish guy who does the body language.
Yeah.
I watched that myself.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I saw it before you sent it or showed it or whatever.
Yeah.
I watched that and you could see he was really agitated. He was gritting his teeth. He made this fist with
He made that.
where its knuckles turned white.
Yes.
So
Very
I don't
good.
know what they were
Very, very
fighting
good.
about.
Now, what do you think of Bridget Macron?
Definitely a dude. Definitely a dude.
With the
I
cute
mean,
little nose
she's had
job?
that, he, whatever, has had that. Will you stop? Get down, down,
Didn't
down,
take
down.
me a second, guys.
Have that
Didn't take me a
same,
second.
that same hairstyle. She needs to go get some different wigs.
This is why, let me start from the beginning. This is why it was caught that way. Everything is done intentionally. All right. So then you could look at this monster coming down the stairs. Now, I'm not even sure if they're the real people, but even if they're the actors, and you can tell that her arms are the same length as Michael Obama. Okay. That her legs and her thighs and her hips are non-existent for a
Right. She
lady.
does not have no
Nothing.
childbearing hips.
Nothing. Nothing. And I've seen all types of women, I promise you. This woman had that type of nose job. And who's named Bridget back then? I mean, she's got to be 10 or 15 years or more older than I.
You know
Maybe?
what the
I don't
story
know.
is behind him and her?
She just don't look as good as I. What?
You know what the story is with him and her also?
Do tell.
That he was a
I
teacher.
probably do, but huh?
She was a teacher in her 30s,
30s.
and he was 14 years old.
Yeah.
And she started doing him back then.
Yeah. Gross. Gross. I have heard that, and it's just ugh. Okay, I really don't know what you want. Are
And
you
the what do
okay
you
with
call
it?
it? The funny thing that I said yesterday with them beating the crap out of each other. I don't know if anybody else, can elaborate on it. You could see he fights like a guy, or she, whatever the hell, fights like a
She
guy.
smooshed it. It doesn't matter. It was all fake. It was all fake to me. You gotta put your eyes there. Everything is so your eyes can go on the real deal. And for people like us to tell them what to look for. That's a dude.
Yeah, but
Welcome. Welcome to the club.
what prompted her to
It
smash
doesn't
him in the face
matter.
before they got off the plane?
Helen, okay, so let's say they're actors. Both of them are actors. They're actors. So why would they do that? To get our attention so we look at them. Not for no other reason. So people wake up to the fact that, hey, look at this woman a little closer. It's a dude. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that in the Illuminati. And it's a lot of the presidents around the world, a lot of the kings and queens and royalties and dukes and princesses and duchesses and earls and politicians and the
And this ain't
governments.
nothing. This ain't nothing new either. This has been
Right.
going back since I was
Centuries and
looking at.
centuries and
Right, exactly. I was
centuries and
looking
centuries.
at past queens and stuff. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
guys.
They were
They
guys.
were guys.
Very good. They were guys. Yes. Yes, they were. I may have played it. There was an Irish documentary these two men did. And they were like, look at these dudes. But people didn't notice because A, they couldn't get close to the queen. B, there wasn't much photography as there is now. So, and they never noticed. They're inbred and they have to pick whoever can play the part. So, for example, maybe you want to talk about Christine and who was the other one? Louise, the twins, Maxwell's.
Yeah, Christine and and Louise Maxwell. Now I
Or
checked up on these Maxwells.
okay,
I went on
it's
Wikipedia.
just Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, that's Epstein's Patsy, right? The helicopter military bitch.
Yeah,
I don't
she
know
was
what she
his
was.
lover. She was his lover.
Yeah, but they had lots of lovers. They
Well,
did.
I think he was the main squeeze.
Whatever, whatever. You can't have that. You can't have that. But whatever. Let's just tell them. Okay, so Ghislaine Maxwell, who only has 10 years, for flying little children like John Benet Ramsey to Epstein Island, for her to become Katy Perry, whatever. Come on, people. Come on, please wake
And
up.
everybody else.
Right. She had so much to do. Well, she was at that party. I've seen now 2 pictures of her at that party. At that not party, it was
Christmas pageant that
the
she was
past.
in.
That's correct.
Right. And she snatched her that night.
That's correct. And
Because
the
that's the night
father
she
knew.
died.
The father worked for IBM
The
because
father
technology.
was also in on it because
Yes.
we seen the pictures of him with the red shoes and the red shoe
There
club.
you go. That's my mama Helen there. Now, how is it possible that we know this? You see, when you hear conspiracists talk, they're not conspiracists. It's just like we know this shit like factual, because it is factual.
That's
There
because we
just can't
research
be
and we find shit out.
how many coincidences until it's mathematically impossible. That always got me. That was the first thing I heard out of Q's mouth, and I'm like, I gotcha. How many times I heard I heard 47 so many times as a child, and then on Star Trek that, you know what I forgot to also bring up? The Dominion. The Dominion were in the Gamma Quadrant in Star Trek, the bad guys who wanted to take over the earth, basically. The Dominion. Isn't that what they called the computer system that takes the voting? So we had Q, the number 47, and the Dominion in at least 2 different Star Treks. Hawkeye, I don't know what you want, sweetheart. You want to give me paw? High five? I don't know what this dog wants. And I looked up the whole spear, the spear of destiny, excuse me, which I was right too. I thought it was a lance. It's like a long, it's a spear, but it's a lance too, that's known as the one that stabbed Jesus. And he was right, A to Z, that he had said something about it being in the hands of the last people who had war. He said it was in Napoleon's hands, and I believe in then Hitler's. And the last when I looked it up, it was in Vienna, Austria. So it is there. It's a freaky thought. And the Ark of the Covenant, or was it the Ark of the Covenant that was in Vienna, Austria? Now I'm confused. No, he said that the Ark of the Covenant went to Ethiopia. And in the movie, it didn't stay where it was either. At the very end, it just dawned on me. At the very end, they put the Ark of the Covenant in crates, and all you see are all these crates. So you don't know where it's going off to. Why Ethiopia? Why would he say Ethiopia? And then he also said something about 13 buckles. Remember that, Mama Helen? I hate to go. I don't mean to pinpoint what he
Yeah,
was
but I
saying was
still don't
interesting.
understand what the buckles were.
I think he meant the 13 that were killed in Afghan, because we have been talking about that and the military, because buckle could be like, their part of their suit, part of their
Uniform.
uniform. I don't know where he's from, so I can't, so if he's saying like 13, excuse me, because 13 soldiers did die. And I think we were talking about when Biden left our
All that
our
military
equipment there.
equipment over there.
Yes. Hawkeye, I really don't know what you want. You want to give me kisses? Come here. Get up here. I have to yell at him to get him up here.
There's my kiss, Hawkeye. Give me my kiss. I see you. I see the handsome boy. Give me my kiss.
Come on.
Give
Come
me
on.
my kisses.
No, he won't. I don't know what's up. He wants something. I don't know what he wants. High five? Give me a high five. I got a high five. You can't really see it, but not that my background
Okay.
is. All
A
right.
to Z says the Ethiopian church, the Ark of the Covenant, is guarded by a high priest, which is the bloodline of King Solomon. Some people believe the lost tribe of Israel.
Okay, so
Afghanistan indeed remembered them.
um
There was 13 killed in Afghanistan.
there you go.
Killed in
Thank you.
Afghanistan, and
Okay, that's what
indeed
I
we
was
remember
wondering.
them.
Patch had mentioned the African Bible. And I can agree that there's some stuff that is true. But they had to have scrambled at the very end when they knew that Trump was coming down after them. So I don't know where everything is. They would have put it closer to home, which to them is Israel. These great powers. Can you imagine finding the Holy Grail? What that would do? I can't even imagine. I don't know. I can't even, and I usually can, and I can't right now. Yeah, imagine what that would do.
Ca. A to Z says we set it up with 13 colonies in New England. We had 13
Yes.
states of the Confederacy. It's a Jumanji number decoding Mason's
Yes.
numerology.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes.
I understand. And there was originally 13 months on the calendar.
Correct. 13 months on the calendar, and even on the dollar bill, there's like 13 olive branches, I think 13 birds or something, and 13
13
steps. There's
stars.
all these things, yeah. Um, I'm sorry, numbers are all important. Every number is important. And especially 369. So those are Tesla's numbers. And I really believe in Tesla's numbers. I don't want to get into that right now. I got to study that more, but that's so what he's suggesting though is that they're all signs and they're all signs for us, right? 13 killed. Maybe there weren't 13. Maybe it was fake. I hate to say that people that may have died being fake, but we really don't know what's a show and what's not. And those people could have died in the tunnels or rescuing the sex trafficked or anywhere else. So they say Afghanistan, but it could have been something else because we can't wake up the people quite yet. Not to that extent. Oh, my head. Some of it is just so. I don't disagree with you, A to Z, by the way. I don't disagree. I like to try to broaden it if I can, make more of an opinion if I know it. The other thing about Africa,
Let me tell you something. When they were showing that movie when Trump brought the TV in there, and you saw the guy screaming, and the other guy with stop with his rant about killing the whites and all that other stuff. The people that the president of uh, Africa or whatever the hell he was from,
boy, was he
people that he had
fooled.
with him refused to watch. They refused to watch the video.
They, whatever Trump's administration said to this guy, he thought that Trump was in on it. He very plainly went there all happy and giddy, thinking, wow, this is great. And then got destroyed right there and then, and probably arrested. He ain't go no home. He ain't go home. E.T. didn't take him home. I really doubt it. I saw something very interesting. There's something about the way people traveled way back when that we're not too sure of. And they were, I don't know who was so genius to do this, but they had put like the Sphinx, like a profile picture of the Sphinx and a profile picture of an Egyptian and an African American woman. And I'll tell you something, that face looked African American. Or I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I'll tell you something, it wouldn't surprise me because I know Cleopatra was Turkish and pulled off being an Egyptian and was smart enough to even learn the language and the customs and everything and became a queen. She became a queen. Like people infiltrated America and tried to become president and politicians and Hollywood stars.
Yeah, we know who they are.
Right. It's just the same ploy has been going on for a very long time from the same people. Can you imagine Cleopatra's ancestors still exist today?
I wouldn't
Would they?
doubt it.
Of course they do. Because it was only like 500, 600 years ago that her ancestor, which was another female biatch, had decided that we were going to work 5 days a week, 9 to 5. Well, it might have been like 300 or 400 years ago, but it was before you would think it happened. Because people would work anytime. It was work, night, day. Um, the jobs that they did back in the medieval times were jobs that lasted months. It wasn't like. And then you go home and you got this huge piece of gold. You can live off of that for another 5 years until you have to go on another journey. That's how it was. Okay. What else? Okay, so you want to get on with Christine? Did we finish that? No.
Okay,
Christine
A
and
to Z
Louisa.
says most mind-blowing to me is that the military equipment left behind from Afghanistan conflict has ended up in drug cartels, southern border. Homeland Security is aware.
I don't believe that at all. No. We used it to get to Israel. That fight going on between Israel and Gaza makes absolutely zero sense. People, it makes no sense. So what it is Q and the good guys fighting the Khazar, the last of the cabal, the highest of the highs. They hid out. Where would evil hide but the most sacred place? They'd never catch me here. So no, I don't believe that. I believe, well, I'm not going to say that all of it went to, but I would say we saved most nearly all of it because we just have a superb military, and it's just not our military alone. Saudi Arabia has been our friends for a very long time because didn't Trump save his life?
Yes, he did.
What was his name? Prince, whatever. I can't remember his name right now, but Trump,
Salman.
Salman. That was it.
Uh, yeah, his father was had Alzheimer's and wanted to step down, and he wanted his son, who was the prince, to become king. Now, it so happens that something was going on in Las Vegas, and the guy that was uh, re running against the prince because he didn't want him to be prince ended up in Las Vegas also. So he was in that Mandalay hotel, motel, whatever, and he took up 2 floors. And Trump and him were walking through the lobby, and his bodyguards had uh, were walking around with these big machine guns right through the lobby, and people were. And then Trump got him on his plane and got him the hell out of there. But that was the whole purpose of that Vegas shooting thing. It
Yep.
wasn't about no concert. It
Nope.
wasn't about the lone guy with the bags and bags of guns and ammo. Because there's no way that guy could have did that by himself.
I think there might have been more to it, because that was MGM. Their systems were down. Either the good guys had to do that. There's some weird shit there too, but go back. As interesting as that is, I still want to go back to Ghislaine Maxwell's sisters and finish that off because I think that's it. I wish I could articulate I'm not, I'm okay at speaking. I'm better at writing. But Mama Helen, just with our dialogue, it helps so much. Because you know what I mean, even if I'm not saying it exactly right. But go back to Louisa and Christine.
Okay. Everybody is torn between the fact that Mother Teresa is what's his face's father, Anthony Fauci. Now, Me and Carolyn are
You're gonna
climbing
have
and
to explain
believing.
that a little slower. Hold on. We believe Fauci is a woman, first of all. Secondly, I mean, because it just is, guys. It just is. Come on.
He's
Come
too
on.
short.
God, come on. And the way, forget it. Forget it. There's so many
He has
signs.
female, things when he talks. When his voice sounds like it's trying to be a male.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. He's upper heavier, which means he's probably wearing something to smooth down his boobs, old time fashion. His cuticles, they're feminine. His nails are very
His hands
feminine.
are feminine. They're small.
Yes. The way he threw that ball, I mean, you have to be a fucking, oh, please. I mean, I was embarrassed for all women out there at that point, but because it was a little before that I realized I was already thinking, was he female? Because when he used to be at the podium with those hands, I was like, come on, what the hell? All right, go on anyhow. Now they're caught up. Mother Teresa, this is going to hurt many, many, many people. Very sorry.
Especially the Catholics.
Yes.
Mother Teresa is a tranny. Was a tranny. And is supposedly, this is satire now, supposedly Anthony Fauci's father. And if you look at a picture of Fauci and a picture of Mother Teresa, you could see they look alike. They got the same beak,
Two peas in a pod.
the same face structure.
Clone, inbred, whatever you want to call it.
And it's no coincidence that both you and I know, Carolyn, because we're from Brooklyn, and that's where Fauci is from. In his drugstore on 13th Avenue, he has a big picture of Mother Teresa hanging up in that drugstore.
I wish Dad was still alive. I'm sure he would have known. Because he worked across there for 30 something years. 35, 40 years, I think.
And Mother Teresa was the biggest child trafficker going.
It was easy. It was very easy for her to do. Remember, guys, there's always a reason they do these things. And
So
that was
this
the
brings
reason.
us back to Ghislaine Maxwell and his family. Anthony Fauci is married to one of Ghislaine Maxwell's sisters. Now, there are two sisters that are twins. He's married to Louise, and
I
another,
thought it was Christine.
who is the twin sister of Christine. Okay. Now, I
They're
looked it
both
up.
women?
Yes, I looked it all up on Wikipedia about the Maxwells. Now, they said that Robert Maxwell had 7 or 9 kids. I can't remember which.
Two
And
died.
2 of them died. One was 3, and the other one was 15. So I think
Illuminati deaths, guys. No doubt. Illuminati deaths.
the 15-year-old was
Rick
changed
Morrison.
to Louise. Okay? Because you could see the pictures, the face. She looks very, when you get out of here, she looks very manly. She's got she's got all those traits and mannerisms of a man. She's got the square chin, the forehead, the hairline, and she just looks like a fucking guy.
Don't get
Okay?
me wrong. There are women with square chins, no hips. There are women like that, but not all of it. There can be women with bigger hands. Like, hands are supposed to be the size of your face. That's just measurement. In fact, your arms are the length of your body. If you put your arms out, it's supposed to be the length of your body. I mean, that's how your body works. So don't say,
Well,
I'm just
okay,
saying,
well,
because
you're
there are
not
women
going to
out there
say
who are
this
like,
is not,
I never had childbearing hips, but I gave birth. And I'm like, it's not like that. Okay, but you can't have an Adam's apple and call yourself a woman. Okay, anyhow.
That's
Just
the one thing I never looked for, was the Adam's apple. Usually I look for the Adam's apple too. But I
just
didn't think, because I was too busy trying to gather this information.
no, it's fine. It's every little by little helps.
And it is no accident. Would you stop? You know, it was no accident that he married somebody in that family. What are the odds?
How many coincidences until it's mathematically impossible? So they're gonna go back in and attack Ukraine, I bet. If they didn't already. Going
What
back to
you're talking about, Russia?
yeah, there's something we
Well,
missed.
what Russia's doing is blowing up all the labs,
Well, I know
all the
that.
drug labs and the cloning labs and all the
Yeah,
rest of that shit.
yeah, absolutely. But there's something they missed, or they thought it was done and it's not done, or Putin's coming to an end. But it's still a spring, right? I'm still waiting for Biden to pass. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen before the summer. I finally watched that. We didn't watch the whole thing, but me and Mama Helen went over Bongino and Cash. I still believe it's to wake us up. Um, we need to get a move on with conspiracies. Even when Joe comes back, he's gonna be doing conspiracies more than maybe one thing in news, but this is going to now be totally conspiracies because the news could kiss my ass, the news. Um, remember what we thought about Cash Patel? Do you
Yeah,
remember
he
what
doesn't look real. He looks like a robot.
he looks like a damn robot. All from the shortness to thickness of him. But the one thing that got me is that he did not sweat at all, my friends. You look at Bongino and he was pouring liquid. And
And the eyes, those googly eyes of his.
the
That
googly
was like
eyes
that
that didn't
episode of Archie Bunker
that
about the
didn't blink.
cross-eyed lady. But he's talking to her and staring at me.
Very
His eyes don't.
unnatural.
Yeah.
We knew it was something, but yeah, after watching it with you and you said it was somewhat robotic, I'm like, holy shnikes, he really fits the bill. He fits it. Short, stocky, um, plain, the nose even being as if he was in
The
football accent.
eyes is what gave it away to me.
The
The
eyes are very
eyes.
strange. It's very bizarre, but you know what? I have to agree with you, Mama. There's something that he was not real then. I'm not
And
saying
no
he
matter
wasn't.
what you see him on talking, he looks like he was programmed. He doesn't look like something that's real. The guy looks fucking animated.
Wonder if Bongino knows. Or
What I do know is Bongino was
why?
pissed.
What I want to know is why put this guy, and I know
In the
he's
front.
done. Why put him above Bongino?
Right. They got Bongino sitting in the office shuffling papers.
Right.
And this guy is supposed to, the other one is supposed to be doing all the work.
Yeah, shuffling papers is just as important because our legislation, our system has always been slow. Everything. But Trump is going to try to make that faster. I don't,
Do
I
you
wouldn't say
think
he's, huh?
do you think Trump is gonna replace this Cash Patel? You think Trump is on to what
If he's
he
a
was
robot, yeah. Well, no, I don't know. We don't know the plan. I can't assume. But that thing doesn't look real. Even what's her name? the one that did the interview? I can't remember her name. I'm so bad with news reporters and shit because I could care
Maria
less.
Bartolomo.
Bartolomo. Bartafuco. Um, she even sweat and she was like all covered up so you wouldn't notice it.
Yeah. And the makeup that they put on him too absorbs a lot of the sweat because they're under those hot lights.
He did not sweat at all. At all. We didn't even have to watch the whole thing. We would just watch. And Bongino, what was he, directly under the light? You guys are going to tell me?
Yeah,
What
and
was
he
that?
was sitting there looking pretty pissed. He was not a happy camper.
I think he's shocked by some of the stuff he's finding out. Because I'm telling you right now, we had to do things that the good guys normally wouldn't do to fake out the bad guys because they're real bad. Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't expect Trump to lie, but if he's got to freaking lie, then he's gonna lie. Sorry. If Trump saying one little lie saves 6 people, one child, four or family or whatever, then he's gonna do it. You ain't gonna know the truth. We do not know the truth. We can surmise as much as we want. I do believe the Mother Teresa thing. I do believe the Fauci thing. I think there's something very strange about Cash. I don't know. I just don't know. I think we're not going to figure anything out very soon until more people wake up. Then they'll start they're giving us hints. It's just not everybody pays attention to them.
And people, whatever you do, please don't think that people aren't getting arrested.
Yeah.
People are getting arrested. They've been to tribunals. They've
Yes.
been executed. They've been locked up.
They're in
But we
Gitmo,
just
they're in
haven't seen it.
Alcatraz,
But it has been
they're off
done.
this planet. Yes.
It has been done.
Yes. Of course it
So
has.
please don't, please stop saying, well, we want to see it. Of course, we'd like to see it.
Yeah.
But what's done in darkness is brought to light.
Right. And it's done in darkness for a reason because you can't possibly, none of us safe. You can't be safe if you let the plan out. All right.
Right. This is always something that I've always said. Donald Trump never lets the right hand know what the left hand is doing.
No, why would you? And that includes us or the media and everything else. And that's what I think is happening to Bongino and Pam Bondi. I don't know about Cash. That is bizarre. That is bizarre. It reminds me of the little Hyundai
Bongino, I
guy.
think, is
The
slowly
little
awakening.
Roboto. What?
I think Bongino is slowly awakening to the fact
Yes.
that of all the shady shit that's been going on.
It's either that or they don't even know how to wake him up. Because it's possible. Yeah, you know what's possible? Okay, he's reading about Epstein and he's finding out that they did all these awkward things like why Bill Clinton was in that blue dress. But I don't think from what I saw of him, he doesn't know exactly what's going on yet.
Yeah, the blue dress and the red shoes.
We are so awake, my friends. Um, and I'm happy that you guys are on this journey with us because we need you to wake up others slowly, no matter what you do. That's what I was told. I was told whatever you can do, do it. Lend that's why Mama Helen's here. She hasn't been feeling good. Her headache all day. But I was like, it's got to come out of her mouth. Um, well, she knew better too. She did more research on it. All right, guys. So we love
And
you. Thank you for joining us.
whatever you guys find out, you decide you're going to look for things.
Well,
Let
A
us
to
know what
Z,
you found.
Birch, these people seem to know. It's how to teach others. We have to, it's one thing for us to discuss things, and there's we do have like 2 or 3, probably 3 or 4 dozen by now, regulars that watch, but you're all awake. How do we get these people that aren't awake? How do we get their attention? How do they start to know? And I keep always saying it, the money is the best way. Nasera is going to come. It will come. Doge is doing its job. All right. Have a good rest of your day, my fellow friends. Say
Stay
goodbye.
well, Patriots.
There you go. Stay well, Patriots. We love